So are you tired of the endless green and blue bubble debate whenever you text someone with a different type of phone than an iPhone? Well, buckle up because Apple just dropped a bombshell and we are going to cover it today. Starting in 2024, we're waving goodbye to those frustrating messaging limitations. Now, Apple is set to adopt RCS, which promises really to revolutionize how we message across platforms, one family coming together. It's gonna be great. Stay tuned as we dive into how this could change the texting divide once and for all. Let's get started. So what exactly is RCS and why is it a game changer for Apple to adopt this? Well, RCS stands for Rich Communication Services. And you could think of it as this next level upgrade to the traditional SMS and MMS that we've been using since 2003. Now, developed with the guidance of the GSMA or the GSM Association, RCS is just not another acronym and it's the future of messaging. It's been embraced by a host of smartphone manufacturers, including carriers around the globe, making it the new standard for communication. Unlike the older SMS and MMS protocols, RCS is designed to make messaging more intuitive, more engaging, and more feature-rich. Now, this includes things like high-quality media sharing, better group chat functionalities, and even read receipts. Can't believe it's actually gonna happen. Features that were once exclusive to messaging platforms like iMessage and WhatsApp, gonna be cross-platform. Now, with RCS, these capabilities are becoming universal, breaking down communication barriers across different divides and platforms. Now you might be asking yourself, why is Apple's stance on RCS changing? Well, until recently, Apple seemed to be on a path showing very little interest in RCS. But the winds of change, they have started to blow, people. Now you probably ask yourself, why is there a sudden shift in Apple's strategy? It's kind of a mix of industry pressure and perhaps a nudge from regulatory changes that you see coming out of the EU or the European Union. Now, Google hasn't been shy about throwing shade on Apple and putting them really kind of just in front of the bus. They launched a widespread campaign splashing their message across billboards, websites, social media, urging Apple to adopt RCS. Now, this persistent push of Google and growing regulatory concerns in the regions like the EU have played, I think, a key role in Apple's decision to rethink its stance on RCS messaging. Now, this move isn't just a simple policy change, it's potentially the biggest turning point in the tech world, signaling a new era of openness and interoperability between major tech giants. Now, let's talk about key features of RCS. Imagine a world where messaging between an iPhone and Android phone is just seamless, feature-rich, and exactly what you would expect. Well, that is the promise of RCS, and here's what it's going to bring to the table. First, it's going to bring high-resolution media sharing. There's no more pixelated or downgraded media formats when you're sending a message from an iPhone to an Android phone. With RCS, sharing memories in total clarity becomes the norm, not the exception. We've enhanced group chats where we're going to say goodbye to the confusing and disjointed group conversations when that one person who has an Android phone kind of gets kicked out and then they send individual messages to everyone else, making staying in touch with friends or family a breeze regardless whether they are on Team Android or Team iPhone. It also brings longer, clear audio messages for sending larger files without a hitch. We're also going to get end-to-end encryption, though this is not supported in the very first release of the universal profile for RCS, but it is something that Apple will adopt because with these improved encryption, ensuring that your private chats between iPhone and Android users will stay just that, private. Now, have you ever reacted to a text and the other person didn't get it? Well, RCS syncs emoji reactions across platforms, so your thumbs up, laugh, or heart emoji is seen how it's supposed to be seen. You're also able to keep your conversations flowing with real-time updates, know when someone's typing to you when they've read your message, bringing a more interactive and response feel to your chats. Now, this just isn't an upgrade, it's a transformation of how we communicate across different ecosystems, and Apple's adoption of RCS is catching up with times and setting a new standard for cross-platform communication and really collaboration with Google. Now, with the integration of RCS, how we interact with our iPhone is poised for a remarkable transformation coming in 2024. Here's what that means for iPhone users, particularly with their communications with Android devices. First, you're gonna get smooth communication across devices. We're gonna remove the frustration of jumbled or limited interactions between iPhone and Android devices, really making that a thing of the past. For iPhone users, this means an end to the era of often frustrating and limited interactions when messaging Android users, ushering in a new era of unified and enriched digital communication. That's just a mouthful. Wow, holy cow. Now, bringing RCS into the Apple ecosystem is more than just a software update. It takes a significant step forward to more inclusive and advanced communication technology. Here's what the implementation of RCS in the Apple device entails. You know, we have the software upgrade coming to iOS, iPadOS, all those features being rolled in there. Apple rolling out RCS support through a feature software update. Now, this update will seamlessly integrate RCS into the iPhone's messaging experience. You have the carrier support and compatibility. For RCS to function its full potential, carrier support is absolutely essential. 3, enhanced connectivity options like iMessage RCS will be not just limited to cellular networks. It will extend messaging capabilities over Wi-Fi, providing flexibility and reliability, especially in the areas with poor cellular coverage where you can then connect your device over Wi-Fi. You'll have location sharing and much more. With RCS, it'll introduce the option to share your location within text threads akin to iMessage, adding another layer of functionality to your messaging toolkit. Now, by embracing RCS, Apple is enhancing its messaging capabilities and aligning to a global communication standard. This move is a significant leap forward, ensuring that all iPhone users enjoy a rich and seamless messaging experience regardless of the device. Now, the exact timeline for the rollout is anticipated, but we're looking somewhere in next year, 2024, and you'll be getting all these new features. One of the most talked about topics, whether or not Apple will change the infamous text color for RCS messaging. Now, this detail might seem small, but it's symbolic, representing the integration, or really kind of separation, of the iPhone and Android messaging. Now, while RCS brings iMessage-like features to the table, it's important to remember that it's not iMessage for Android. There are still nuances specific to how these two systems operate, which means Apple can still push the development of iMessage forward and support RCS at the same time without needing to worry about the full support on both systems. Now, integrating RCS into Apple's ecosystem might come with its own set of technical hurdles. These unanswered questions add an element of anticipation to Apple's RCS adoption. Now, while we might not have all the answers right now, what is clear is that this is the right move to adopt RCS for Apple and the global community, and a significant step in messaging strategy, potentially reshaping how iPhone users interact with a wider smartphone audience. Now, personally, I think it's great that Apple's adding in support for RCS. As someone who tests a ton of different phones, whether they're an iPhone, whether they're an Android phone, it is always that, you're that unlucky person who might be messaging someone, or you have a group chat, you're trying to get in there and you're just not a part of it. Now, I want to know what your thoughts are. Are you excited for Apple to bring RCS? Are you going to kind of bring together all your friends, whether they're iPhone or Android, and message together? How do you think RCS messaging is going to impact your habits? Do you foresee any challenges or benefits that particularly excite you? Comment down below. Support on the iPhone will reshape your world, if at all, right? My name is Mike, and I will talk to you in the next one.